we're just gonna start up here and hoping Corvo will get his stuff fixed and situated. But hello, everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Grumpy Bear. Hoping we have him. I got my own audio here. Okay, so thank you for joining me today. Today is Wednesday, of course, 5 o'clock Central PST time. Here on YouTube at Grumpy B Gaming. For everybody here want to check this live broadcasting of this, be sure to catch me here on Wednesday so you can join the chit chat and join in the conversation. Corvo is having some difficulties with his web camera. Clearly, he's trying to figure out why his camera is not turning on. He unplugged it and then replugged it up at one point, and hopefully this time he doesn't have it down at his belly. He says it. Ladies, if you like a man, show, with a little bit of, a little bit of Buddha body, you got him. You got a god right here. The camera is pointing right at Corvo's crotch. Almost. At least the camera has turned on right now. I don't know if he's paying attention. I keep on saying it. The keyboard looks familiar. I don't think it's the same keyboard I have. It looks familiar. I don't think I have that one. We lost Corvo again. So while he's trying to figure that out, hopefully you'll figure that soon. Hey, there we go. We got a headshot this time. Ah, we got vocals though. Man, we got a close-up on that beard today. Let's put him a little bit more in the view. There we go. That's a good, upward view, like looking down. Oh, I see you. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I can see him. Right? Well, there he went again. I don't know if that's the same camera. I think he might be fooling with his web camera, but he's like trying to fool with his GoPro. So again, sorry, technical issues. Is this your GoPro or is this your web camera? Okay, so I was wondering, like, what was facing so down toward your belly that I. Well, I hope we can get that situated and fixed out for next time around. I got you a hot pocket, but there we go. We got the full crew here today. How you doing today, Corvo? I see Stealthy there. Hello, Stealthy. At least I see Stealthy. Noted. We just got done doing a little bit of a Genshin Impact, doing some world bosses. Bye, camera. Hi, camera. Man, this is streaming live for you, man. This is just nothing ever goes as planned or as wanted. You just go with the punches at this point. We're gonna be, for those who want to watch us and play some more, be sure to hit up my stream afterwards at Grumpy B Gaming. All right, Darkness. You have a good night, brother. You can catch the VOD of this later on, so be sure to watch the rest of it later in the. I can hear you just fine. Let me say something. Okay, so there we go. There's another technical issue right there. Okay, give me a moment here. Let me adjust you. And okay, say something now.
Hello.
Oh, that too loud. Wow. Okay. All right, so web camera going. We got everything going. But yeah, if anybody want to catch us live, play some Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact. Be sure to hit the YouTube channel, or not YouTube channel, the Twitch channel, Grumpy B Gaming, or Grumpy Bear on twitch.tv/Grumpy Bear. But anyways, so how you doing today, Corvo? Are you feeling good? I see you're chowing down a hot pocket.
I'm doing good.
I'm
doing real good.
Have a lot of fun with that game. So glad I got y'all acquainted with the game, even though it took forever.
Man,
to get y'all to
fit it in the schedule, man. I had to fit it in the schedule.
Now you find times to put it in the schedule. It's like I find time. No, we've made time now.
Yeah. Well, I've got things with the printers in a situation that is kind of under control right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to spend as much time with that as I did before. Now I can just kind of set it and forget it.
There we go.
So how is the you did a live stream this past week of your new
Yep.
curing box, which
Yep.
I find it interesting, at least what it takes to have a resin printer, that you need more than just one device in order to get the full effect of a resin printer. But
Absolutely.
how was your experience with it? I would say bye again.
I've used it a couple times. Good night, darkness. And like for example, this little fella right here.
You gotta go down with it because you're pointing at the wrong camera.
Yep, this little fella right here.
Oh, it's Shinra.
Yeah,
Nice.
he was printed and cured in that box, and it did a fantastic job. I don't know if I made it as clear as I wanted to when I finally figured out the controls on the box.
Yeah.
But it's in seconds.
Uh-huh.
So it'll go anywhere from 300 seconds to 600 seconds, which is 5 minutes to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, if you set it to 10 minutes, when it comes out, it's ready.
Okay, so it cures pretty all the way in, because sometimes
Yeah.
if you make it something with, like, if I make something, for instance, one of these Pokeballs, and I make it somewhat hollow, some resin gets trapped on the inside of it, and that's a problem, because sometimes you gotta wait for that to help that get cured, which you can put it in there for longer. And then, of
Right.
course, like me, if it doesn't cure inside of it, but when it eventually does, it'll cure at the bottom, which angle you have. So now this is completely bottom heavy, which is, to me, is not bad, because like I want this to be bottom heavy because I don't want it to be
Right.
rocking everywhere. Now I need to try at some point, like I said before, I may have mentioned on the podcast before, I need to make a print something small that I don't really care about, and then hit it with a hot gun, because hitting this stuff with clear paint is good, but it can be a little runny if you do it too fast or too hard. And I personally would like it to come out clear, but it doesn't always. Comes out a little bit of a hazing. And now you know what it feels like with that soapiness. It feels like a soap bar when it comes out, doesn't it? The resin.
Yep. Yep.
It's so weird.
But I've noticed that if you the more you go through the curing process, so like for example with Shinron here, if I run him like more than once in that curing box,
Yeah.
that soapiness almost completely goes away and it turns glassy.
Okay. So maybe it melts a little bit of it.
I don't know. I mean, it's an intense blast of UV light, so I imagine it's not cool, but I don't think it's gonna burn you like your hand in it or nothing. You might get
I put my hand inside of my little curing bucket and felt a little warm in there, but it's nothing to cook a roast a chicken in. But it does feel, you can definitely feel like there's something going on inside of it. Like I could maybe get a tan off of it. Which do tanning beds use UV lights?
Some of them do, yes.
Okay, so it would be practically the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at a higher intensity, a higher wavelength, I would say, probably.
Most likely. And I think it's pretty cool. Now, my mom asked me this past week how, to print her a Tinkerbell. That's what she wants, a Tinkerbell. But she was also asking me, like, because she makes this, like, glass artwork where she, okay, you've seen blowing art, right?
Yeah,
blowing,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know the little chips they break off every now and then?
Yep.
Okay, my mom buys that scrap and turns it into art, and then thanks to me, I'm not trying to say anything, it's thanks to me, but she figured out the glory of Quick's quick drying spray for hot or for super glue. So now she's able to put glue on things, glue it together, and take quick drying through glue and quickly hold it together. Then she pours resin over it to make it all one solid piece. But she actually makes pretty good money off of that. And she's asking me like, could she do that with 3D resin print? I'm like, well, maybe if you print all the parts, like, you know, print a bunch of greens, print a bunch of reds, print a bunch of yellows, and you could do that. Well, otherwise, all you could do is just a bunch of layers.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. I found that there is one color though in resin that is apparently not very easy to get your hand on, and it's called a translucent yellow.
yeah.
It's pretty hard to find. Everybody says you just about got to mix it yourself if you're going to have it.
Okay, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. If you are one of those people that are out there watching my YouTubers out there watching this podcast and getting the ideas from me, you better give me a shout out. But you're not, no joke. I'm not even trying to run my own shaft here. Not even like a week later, when I told you that I was mixing my own resin stuff with like paints, a YouTuber did a video on it. And then a week later, when I told you I was using resin and using a little light like this to like glue it together, a YouTuber did a video on it.
Yep.
It's almost, I don't believe in coincidences, but it could be a coincidence, could be complete 100%. But I'm just saying, I always wonder about that kind of stuff because I don't believe in coincidences. I don't.
Well, I mean, I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching something that had to do with printing the other day, and like where I figured out how to set certain things on certain angles for the best layer quality and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure as crap, here comes a dude coming in here, whole YouTube video about it, you know. I don't pay things like that much mind, just from the standpoint I don't really care as long as the info is out there so that people that are struggling can learn.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I don't know. Did I ever tell you that I punctured one of my my sheets on my resin bed and I used tape underneath it to seal it so I could use it for a little longer?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Okay, I said it during one of my streams that I did it on accident. Because what happened was I was printing something, right, and I forgot that it was a failed print. It was a failed print, so I stopped the print and I went, okay, let's start it up. And I forgot to remove the support stuff that was still on the top of the bed. I thought it wasn't on there because it was so thin. Well, when it came back down to do the print, it was pushing down on the sheet and made a hole. And I just went, okay, why can I not just take some clear tape and stick it to the bottom and keep on going? Sure as shit, about a week or two later, someone did a video on that. I'm like, I'm like the speaking guru. I'm putting on the universe, and the universe is going, oh, that's an idea. Let's give it to somebody else and make them give a bunch of great ideas. Fuck you. I came up with the idea first. Not really. I probably didn't. But I'm just saying it was a good thing to do. Like, you ever do that for everybody out there that's what does 3D printing on a resin and you puncture yours, you can do it for a little while. Maybe like 5, maybe 4 if you're lucky. More prints. Otherwise, you better have some on some order or some on the back draft waiting to be replacing that sheet because it won't last long. It won't last long. Just don't.
I was reading something the other day, and there's literally a 3D model out there. I don't have it yet.
Yeah,
but I'm going to find it. You can print a whole nother tray.
Yeah, I've already found that.
That's the right size
for yours,
and those pieces, those films work with it. You can have more than one tray, so that like if that happens, you can quickly pour it out, pour it into a new tray, clean it up, slide it in there, and keep going.
Yeah, that's. I found one for mine already. Mine was pretty easy to find because mine apparently people have that one on like lock when it comes to making devices for it. But I need to get my spool printer back up and going because I have one working. I just want to sell that one since that one's working, and then get the one I've updated the most on, get that one working so I can have a lot. That one has the double spenders.
So what we talking about on price point here now?
$100.
Wait, say what?
100.
100.
Yeah.
What model is it?
CR10.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's it. Because I at this point I need to get rid of it because it works. I just want to get this one working now because it has double spool. It has the updated motherboard. It has probably a dead power supply, as you well know.
so the other one has a two extruders on it.
Yeah, the other one has not two extruders. It has what's the thing that makes it go up on the Z-axis?
Oh, dual axis motors.
Yeah, dual axis. It has dual axis. It has updated motherboard, and it has the same kit as I have for the what is it? I forget names here. Forgive me. That pushes the spool down into the nozzle. What's that called?
You talking about the extruder motor?
Yeah, it has not the motor, but the little device on top of it to.
Oh, the extruder cap.
Yeah, it has an updated version. I have two of them. I have one on both of them, but I'm and both of them have one, so it has that updated. That one has the updated on it as well. So,
I gotta order an extruder cap set for the CR10S, the first one I got.
Yeah,
that has the dual gears, has two teeth, because I noticed the other day this one's starting to slip a little bit, and it only has the one side that has teeth.
Yeah.
But ever since I've got the newer one that I've gotten down there with the dual gears, I've had no problem with it, like being able to push out flow.
Yeah.
So I've seen a little difference in that. So I most definitely need to get a cap set for that one.
Yeah, I got mine updated because mine was what the CR10 first came with. It was slipping a lot. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm annoyed with this, and I'm like, I went online. I'm like, here's the update for it. I'm like, okay, I'm buying it. Now I don't know if you could use the stretchy rubber filament or not, but people say they can. But most people like always use a double one because it's just guaranteed to push it down.
Yeah, it guarantees to push it through. That's what I've got on the Pro that I got, the newer one that I'm usually streaming on. It has two on it, and it don't matter if you're almost touching the bed. It'll make a wad around the nozzle pushing it out.
Yeah, for anybody out there that doesn't understand what we're trying to explain here, let me try to explain it to you. Okay. The filament, which is a think of string or wire for a weed eater whacker, for the little plastic things. Okay, pushes that, and it goes to this one ring that's like a wheel that's kind of flat with a in curve inside of it, and the other wheel has these teeth going all the way around it. The teeth pushes against the curving, the regular wheel, and pushes it downwards. Well, sometimes that one teeth, even if it's pushing against that wheel with the inlay, it doesn't always allow for it to push down in it like it's supposed to. Sometimes it kind of like slips. But if you have two teeth on both sides, it will pretty much guarantee to go down because two gripping things pushing it down into the hot tip to come out like glue. Right. So that's what he's talking about. He's got double spool. It means he's pushing it guaranteed downwards. And if you get the kind that stretch, which will allow your print to be more flexible, if you need to be flexible, you're almost gonna need that because it pulls and stretches. And well, if you're trying to push it through a hot nozzle and something happens, maybe a layer was too low and it didn't allow the stuff to come down, or it wasn't hot enough, it lost a couple of temperatures for a second or two for whatever reason, and it gets cool, well, the double thing will make sure it goes down.
Yep.
Like, it's not asking, Absolutely. It's telling. And it does help. That's why I always say, like, another reason why I think resin printers, though you need a second device to run resin printers, I think resin printers are just way easier. I do. I think they are once you learn tricks, kind of like the things I've asked you about and the things I've told you I've figured out. Yeah.
It's all about the tricks. Once you figure out, okay, if I have a round object or something and I want it to be truly round, don't touch the bed. Get it off the bed a little bit so the supports come up to it for that first layer to start. It actually keeps shape. Mm-hmm. Once you learn things like that and you learn if it's a heavy object, remember it's printing it upside down. So put a raft down for your supports to be attached to so it has more surface space to stay on the bed so it's not likely to fall off. because I had one fall off.
Oh, okay. So I did. There is this one YouTuber. If I can remember his name and find his video, I'll show you. He uses to make sure that when like certain prints are, they okay. Another explanation, quick explanation for people here. Resin printers are a metal bed platform that goes down into this liquid of resin that is UV curable. That will go down to a certain millimeter of height inside the resin, and then the light will shine up onto the platform or onto the other resin that's already been cured and adhere to it. Well, when it pulls up, it has to release from this bed, but sometimes it doesn't release. Sometimes it gets a little too sticky, and you can hear it like a little suction cup. Well, apparently there's this stuff you can spray oil, you can put on the release bed, and it'll never stick.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to know what that is.
Love you. So yeah, I'll be sure to get that to you because
yeah,
he swears by it. So I had to try it out, and yeah, it'd be good for heavy prints or prints that are gonna have a very large surfaces. Now,
yeah, like I'm printing a Borg cube tonight at some point in the green resin, and I mean it's a cube. It ain't gonna be light.
Yeah.
No.
And there's also one more thing, but of course, I know no one hears about from 3D resins or 3D spool prints. Please make your spools or your jars from which you put your resin in recyclable. I'm gonna have so many freaking little cups or jugs empty of like nothing to do with it, and I already have so many like spools with no filament on it, just backing up in my house, going, what am I supposed to do with this? Just throw it away. I want an easy recyclable. Make it out, if you're a spool, please make it out of cardboard, and if it's a jug, make it out of aluminum. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell to do with these damn things.
Well, you know how you're supposed to dispose of them, right? You can recycle the plastic ones, but the way you do it is you literally have to shine a UV light in the thing for like a day.
Yeah.
And then run hot water in it. It'll break the hardened resin loose, dump it out, and you can send the plastic to the recycle bin.
I wish some of them would be like, hey, just send it back to us. Sure. But I get a stack of them, I would just send it back to you. I had no problem with that. Personally,
especially if they just slap us a return label. I mean, shit, it saves them money. It saves us money.
Yeah, just any ways to get rid of it and they can just reuse it again because it's most likely that's what they'll do. Slap a new label on it and then seal it up and bam, reuse. I would prefer that. Now I know they're not gonna do that, but this is I think it's still growing, very much a growing. Is it a hobby at this point? I don't know. It's almost like an art at this point.
I think it depends because, like, for me, I call it a hobby because it's something I do that I'm not trying to make money off of, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could also say it's art, especially if you're the person that created like an original model and you're printing your own model. You know, that to me, that stems into the art.
Like, there's some people that use this for their companies. There are some people that actually do print and sell their prints. And there's some people that have used it for STEM work and now for building homes. And like, there's so many uses out of 3D printings nowadays. And some people are very smart and they learn how to make like actual usable things. Like, there's this one YouTube channel that I watch that all he does is have people design fans and see what fans work the best. Like, he's trying to find the perfect fan for PCs and stuff like that, the way of cooling things. And he runs a bit of like hey, you make a fan, I will test it, whether, how much air it pushes, how cool it pushes, and how loud it is.
Oh yeah, by the way, Grumpy.
Yeah.
I got my YouTube channel up and running, just so you know. So both the airbrush video and the UV video is over there.
Nice.
As well as a copy of the walkthrough on the print store.
Mm-hmm.
So I at some point will shoot you the link to that so you'll know where it's at.
Give it a shout out.
I'm really only using it to post videos on. I'm not trying to do anything live on it.
I know. Just give it a shout out so people here won't be able to see it, but at least they'll be able to hear it.
Yeah, let me hang on just a second because I need to. I can't. I have trouble sometimes with YouTube understanding the
The
way they
intricacies.
name things because like the name of my channel is 3D Print,
Yeah.
but the URL for it is like youtube.com channel UC9D blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know? So, but my channel's name is 3D Print.
Okay.
I'll shoot you the link real quick.
All right, but I'm just thinking like right now where printing is going, we stay in that conversation for a little longer. I'm just waiting for printers to at least resin printers to be at the price range that spool printers are at, but yet I just want one as big as my CR10.
Yes, I am 100% that way because there are so many large items, really large items I would love to do in resin.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it yet because the amount of money it costs for one that size is ridiculous.
Yeah, because like they have some resin out there like 4K resolution on it, which for anybody out there doesn't understand what 4K resolution means on a 3D printer, trust me, I was confused too when I first heard it. I'm like 4K. It's not like 4K like its display. The print quality is just better. It's just better.
Yeah.
It's like saying a 1080 printer, which I don't know if there is resin printers out there with 1080, but it's like that. It's like the quality of it is like the lower grade. 2K is a higher grade. Very detailed, and then 4K is even higher detail.
Yeah, mine's a 2K is what mine is.
I forget what mine is, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I just know it was one of those Ks. So I'm like, it's a K one. So I got that one. And I want one, like, there's some out there that they're $4,000, $5,000. And they're pretty dang big. But that's like, I can buy with that much money, like 10 CR10s, maybe even 20.
Yeah.
That's just...
And the other side of that is with one that large, the amount of resin you have to put in the reservoir.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because resin isn't cheap.
No.
I mean, you can get quite a few prints out of it if you're careful with your placement of your objects and you're mindful and stuff. But it ain't cheap.
I'm actually like, there's only one thing that really like makes resin printers slightly easier with the resin than a spool one, the support. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like you don't use as much resin for the support as you do the spool for the spool printer.
Right.
Because it's just always so much, like you're using like almost, I would dare say a quarter of your spool every time you're printing something huge of your spool for your print than you are for your resin for your... Because there's small tubes. I'm like, I wish I could do that with the regular printer, but that doesn't work like that because printing little circles would probably be really bad.
So you said, not trying to cut you off, but something popped in my mind. You said you figured out how to hollow your Pokeballs, right?
Yes.
I have not figured that out in my program yet.
I use another program. Okay, everybody can see my background for here a second there. Let me just move it out a second. It's called, where is it at? Oh, Mesh Mixer.
Yeah.
And it can hollow it out for you.
So what are you doing? You just importing it in the Mesh Mixer and using the hollow tool, and then you're exporting it back out and putting it into your program?
That's it.
Okay.
And it'll hollow out in the shape of the object. Cause
that's cool.
Instead of like some of them will hollow it out, then like put a bunch of supports inside.
Yeah.
Like no. It just hollows it out. Now when you go put it in the slicer, you need to make sure there's nothing in it and because then the slicer might try to put some support inside of it. And you just gotta, go down to the layer and remove support like I do with mine, and then put it back up.
Yeah, because like when I do that board cube, I don't really want that thing solid.
No.
Does it allow you to set the thickness of the walls? Cool.
Yes. That's
Okay.
the way I save a lot of resin, and then when I do that, I always make sure there's a hole somewhere to pour it out. Now I wanted this one to be hollow, but I knew there'd be resin left in it because, like I said, I wanted the bottom to be a little heavy, and I knew that would happen. But when I first printed this, there was a bunch of liquid all inside of it, and then I let it sit in the UV cooler, the UV box a little longer, and then eventually it actually cured it. So I'm like, okay, good, because now it's heavy bottom, and I don't have to worry about it rolling around. But yeah, so it's a little tricks like that. This way saving resin.
This one right here is solid. I mean, like solid.
Yeah.
Like
this one is hollow. I mean, this is pretty much like 2 millimeter, maybe 1.5 millimeters, and then it's hollow inside of it. So.
Oh, that's cool. I think I'm glad you told me about that because I'll have to play with that when I go to set up the board cube tonight.
Just be sure to put a hole somewhere so you can pour out the resin inside of it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to like I did, leave a little bit in there because it doesn't take up a lot of resin, but this thing is at least halfway full. So, and it's probably I made this one probably a 2 millimeter outer diameter because I wanted to keep it somewhat of dark blue.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
That's cool.
So you took your first hand at painting your figurines and your things in airbrush.
Yep.
How we talked about that a little bit last week. How is it going so far for you?
So I did all right. Stealthy's gonna hand me the mask, and I'll show you. We did have one complication that I have to fix, but I did all right. As you can see, I got some better silver.
Oh yeah, it's much better silver.
And all the taped off stuff is finished red.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, you can see where it scraped off at. I had a problem that I was not aware of when I started. The black that I had that I was originally going to spray it with was super, super, super thin. Like, come out almost transparent black, like just a black hue.
Yeah.
And was like water. So,
okay, give me a second. Keep it talking. Like my dog's doing something. I'm curious.
I thought, okay, I'll let it dry a little bit, and I'm just going to spray it with the silver because I already have silver up at the top. It'll match. It'll be fine. But because of the wetness of that black, the silver didn't take real well. So I've got to strip all that silver back off those two chin pieces.
Yeah.
And dry it. And then I'm going to go back and lay a layer of gray and then the silver over the top of it like I did the top side, and it'll be done. But, yeah, I found that every color needs to be mixed about 50-50 with reducer for it to spray right in that gun, except for black. Do not mix anything in the black.
Too thick?
Yeah, no, the black is so thin already. I mean, it's like
I got you.
Ultra thin.
I say maybe it was a brand. Was it a different brand or was it the same brand?
Oh, same brand.
Okay. Cause I got that Skull brand and I've done pretty good with it. I did watch another a guy that does like mini figurines for D&D and stuff like that. About his idea about painting and figurines. I got some ideas and learned some little bit of tricks from him. But I did find this one video saying pretty much like what paints to use on figurines and what paints to do not use. Apparently there's one type of paint out there that it's like even when you paint it, it would come out tacky. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what you do, it always feels sticky.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot the link to you at some point because I'm like they're kind of expensive though. Like these little tiny jars. I mean, I'm talking about like they couldn't be like no taller than this. Yep. But like they're meant for doing stuff like this. So yeah. I hope they come out good. He's sort of about like, oh, some of them need to be thinned out because some of them are too thick and like thick when it comes, I don't know, layer, like he's always saying do layers, and I can't wait to be able to do this kind of quality. If I could do this type of kind of quality for my figurines, I'll be happy. Of course, you said your mom would be trying her hand at it. Now,
yep.
You said your mama used to do painting for, now was she
ceramic.
For ceramic. Now, did she ever go professional with it, or was it just like a
No,
little hobby that she did for herself?
She did it like a hobby, and I think she sold a couple to some friends at one time. She liked to do them like when I was helping her do them. We did a set of lilies one time for my grandmother and gave them to her, and she had those in her house all through my years. It was mainly just something for her to do.
Yeah.
Besides watch TV.
Hey, everybody needs a hobby.
But my mother is one of those people that has like 12 hobbies. So she paints. She does crossword, paint by number. She paints ceramics. She does crochet. I mean, she's got a bunch of hobbies. But she was making the mention the other day that she hadn't painted in a while and she wanted to paint. And she's like, but I don't really have the funding to go and buy a bunch of ceramics to paint. And I was like, well, if you want to try your hand at, doing something, you could try like painting one of my PLA figurines or one of my resin figurines. And she's like, oh yeah, I can most definitely do that. I was like, oh, bet? Really? You can most definitely bet. Okay. So right now, she is practicing on a PLA version of Riel Mayer. And then I'm going to hand her a resin one.
Now, I did watch a video for our video, and I don't know what kind of like for the minute figurines, but the guy was telling me about the paint. He's saying you got to prime your figurines. And I don't know if our resin printer, because I've always heard that these resin things are pretty easy to paint on. And so far I've painted on one or two, and I didn't have that much problems. But I did have a lot more better luck with, let me pull my other figurine that I've done a while back. I primed this one a while back. I need to finish it someday. But I primed this one a long time ago, and I started painting on it. And I need to finish it at some point. And this is a spool printer one. So, this is a spool, not like a resin one. So it took the paint pretty dang well, I have to say. But I still feel like maybe I should be priming my stuff. The guy said in the video, like, you gotta prime before you paint. I'm like, but resin printers, you don't need that. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying, it wouldn't hurt to try.
Right.
And I want to make sure I don't want to be wasting a lot of paint, because paint's not cheap either. to start painting a bunch of figurines that end up like looking just like garbage in the end.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I started working on this one, but I just could not get the eyes right, and I haven't finished the hands either. But I just could not get the eyes right, like because I was using that acrylic paint, and it comes out way too thick, and I try to thin it down with water, it just doesn't work. It does make leather look like leather, though, which is, I guess, good. Like, if you wanted to mix paints to get a different kind of effect going on. Like, it makes her leather leggings look like leather, which I had to remember, like, hey, if I want a leather look or like a cloth-like look, maybe use acrylic. And then when I don't want that look, I use more of a thinner ink more base or whatever it's called. I really gotta watch that video. But yeah, but besides, what else have you been doing out this week?
So I mean, I've been mainly doing printing and playing Genshin. Going to work,
sleeping, going to bed. Really, he's been staying up long hours, guys. He's been a bad man, getting like 4 hours of sleep. Me, I started driving again this past week. I took a week off pretty much, and I gotta remind myself to be sure to use the restroom before I leave my apartment, because it is so embarrassment. Because my wife, she brought me Taco Bell home. If anybody knows, if you ever eat Taco Bell, you know what that does to you, right?
Oh
yeah. So we had Taco Bell, and I left as soon as I was done.
Sorry, Sheila.
It's my mother. Anyways, so I used the restroom, and I didn't use the restroom, and I left the place, and I went to one restaurant, got the food. I I use the restroom. If I fart right now, it's over. It's over. I could not fart. I'm like, nope, this is danger zone. Got to the next restaurant. I'm like, can I use your restroom? It's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, thank you. Nature's calling. And I blew up the fucking toilet. I mean, I was in the toilet for like way too long. And I could have been like already headed to the next customer, but I was in that bathroom and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. I should have not left. I should have used the restroom before I left, then went.
I know that feeling, trust me.
Because
what I hate is that moment, like when you're traveling somewhere, you know, and you don't have to go to the restroom, but as soon as you hit the freaking interstate and you hit that spot where there is no exits, suddenly you've got to go.
Yeah, and you're like, you feel like, is that a fart? Is that a fart? Should I tempt fate? I shouldn't tempt fate, but I'm gonna tempt fate. And it's never very much a good idea even to try. It's like, just in case, man, little. Nope. That's not safe. That's a peeker.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't know how many times we've been on our way down to Orlando, and I'd be like, I don't know if this is a fart or.
You know how many times you've been down to Orlando? You think you know, like, okay, you better do it now because for the next 10 minutes, we're not gonna see nothing.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I've kind of gotten good now. Like, I've got my service stations picked out, the nice ones with the.
For a second there. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, we lost connection. I don't know what's. Okay. So he was talking about the best toilets and the best places on the way up there. So that's always good to know because you've been there so many times, so you know where the best places are. I've been on a vacation a long time, and I would love to go. And speaking of vacations, like my mom, she's been booked to go on a cruise ship for over a year now with some of her crewmates, friends she made along the way. And now cruise ships are not letting people that have, a need of oxygen tanks. My mom doesn't need, according to her doctor, need oxygen tanks. But she has one around because at one time she did. But now she doesn't. But she keeps it around just in case she does need it. Like, just in case. Could happen. What's up, Wally? And now my mom spent all the money. The cruise ship contacted her and said, yeah, you're not going.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Because of the COVID.
Yeah, they're saying because of COVID. But they.
That's she either has to leave it and say she doesn't need it, or.
Yeah, she's like, just take it off the list. I don't really need it, according to my doctor, but I was gonna bring it just in case. It's like I'm gonna bring an inhaler just in case. I don't need it.
Right.
But just in case I need it, like if something happens, I like to have it near me. And that's the same thing with oxygen tank, I feel. But then they told her, like, yeah, but you can go on the cruise 2 months from then. It's like, what's the difference between 2 months? A lot can happen in 2 months. Bad or good. So, like, how do you know from 2 months from that cruise, everything will be okay then? You don't.
Oh, you even got a doctor's note saying you didn't need it, and they still refuse to let you go until 2 months out. I'm sorry.
So
that's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I was talking to myself, like, if anybody here that does not or has never went on a cruise ship or went overseas, you can get insurance for yourself for if you travel and anything were to happen to you, that insurance that you bought will pay for your insurance wherever you are. So let's say we go to Japan, and we make sure we get insurance, because if anything would happen to us and we don't have insurance while we're in Japan, well, the insurance might not cover it.
Right.
So you have insurance if for anything to happen. And normally it's like really cheap. It's like $30 or $40. It's not like terrible. But it's just in case kind of thing. It's like getting insurance on your rental car. You're pretty sure you're not going to wreck it. Pretty sure nothing's going to happen.
Anyway.
But you do it anyways.
Yep.
So, like, to them, it's like, my mom's like, just get the insurance. If anything happens to you, at least you'll be covered. But they're still like, no. I don't really particularly like that too much, but I get my mom's frustration. My mom is not afraid to sue. That's the scarier part. She ain't like lawyers to her ain't nothing new to her. This not her first rodeo with lawyers. I've never dealt with a lawyer in my life, and I hope never to deal with a lawyer.
I've only had to deal with a lawyer twice in my life, and none of them were my were for me. I was just a part of it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you were just a person go speaking what you heard or what you know. Is like, here's the information, now go on. I don't want another part of this. I gave you what you need. Bye. I don't want to be anybody defending me or anybody or going against me. I don't hope that in my life. But yeah, speaking of like, I guess lawyers getting involved. Do you know this past week? I know one is Kentucky. Another one's in, I think, Massachusetts. People at Burger King's are like quitting all at one time. And then like leaving up on the sign, the sign that only says, our deal for the day. They've been putting up signs going, we all quit. Sorry for the inconvenience on their signs. I know.
Wow.
That to me is like the ultimate like feel good moment for quitting a job. When everybody quits at the same time. It's like, all of us, we quit. Bye. And they were calling them up apparently like, y'all need to go outside and change the sign. Like, I can't. This is my last day. Sorry. Bye. It has to feel good to do that. I know Stealthy wanted to do that for her last job. Have her friend and her quit at the same time so they can both give the main boss a big, middle F you.
Hello?
I would love to do that in my job. Like if I could have done that in my past job and got everybody to quit at one time, would have been beautiful.
I always told Stealthy, how everybody daydreams, and I always told her, I said, if I was to ever win the lottery, I'd go to work at least a week after I won it. Long enough for me to be there so that on the last day I could do something stupid. When they go to say, you're fired, I was like, no, I quit.
Like, oh, you're fine. I've already quit, dude. I'm doing this because I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Good luck with firing when somebody's already already halfway at the door.
It's one of those things like we discuss this in depth sometimes at the break table. Like nobody wants to really work. I mean, who wants to go to work? You'd rather be at home doing what you want to do, making money,
Yeah, like you rather work for yourself than work for someone else.
And we were all joking when they were like, yeah, well, one of the guys was like, yeah, I think I'd still come to work regardless because I'm just that kind of person. I'm like, look, dude, if I got the same money sitting at home playing video games and printing my prints as I do sitting here, do you think I would don this place with my shadow? Hell no.
Yeah, like why make someone else's pocket fatter? Where you can make your own pocket fatter by doing.
I'd be sitting right at the house playing video games and printing the heck out some stuff.
Yeah, and I that's why I always say, do a job that you love, at least, even if it's not a job that you did yourself, at least a job you partially love. Like, you have to have some kind of enjoyment out of it. And if you are working in a job, that is a multi-billion-dollar company and that multi-million-dollar company isn't doing all it can to make sure you're happy at your job, what's the point of that? You're just going to be living your life underneath someone else's shadow. Living that life.
Wow.
What?
I just looked over at our stream running and realized how bushy my beard is on the bottom. I hadn't even noticed it until now.
Yeah,
all puffy and stuff.
You got that salt and pepper going on pretty hard in this camera.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, let me tell you, you dyed your beard, right? So I went to work and pulled up the handbook because I was hoping there was going to be a loophole because I was fixing to dye my stuff. But no, apparently women can have blue, green, red streaks in their hair all they want to, but if I put a color in my beard, I am breaking the rules. So I told Stealthy they can't say nothing about black because black is a naturally occurring hair color.
Boy, man, there's no such thing as favoritism in the workplace.
No.
No.
So I'm gonna get me some Manic Panic Black.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have the black beard shortly.
You know what I would
correct that shit. Let me correct that shit. How long did it take?
I can't hear her, she's just breaking up.
She said, how long did it take them to allow women to do that with their hair?
Oh, I've been knowing about women doing that for a long time, at least in my past jobs.
No. See, he's saying that they're not allowing it. What he's not telling you is they didn't allow it for God knows how long.
Yeah, they didn't used to let the women do it either.
But I'd say I've had plenty of jobs of girls running around with green hair on their hair, like da-di-da, like it's not natural. They don't care.
They didn't used to allow it where I work at, but they've just recently adopted the fact that it's getting normal for a lady to have like a colored streak in her hair of some color or something, you know. So they're okay with it, but I can't have like a red beard or a blue beard or.
Well, it's not like you're. Well, are you in a position where you have to show a sign of professionalism?
Dude, I work in a corporate office of a multi-million-dollar corporation. Yes.
Yeah. So like they're probably worried about like some businessman coming to them and going, "You don't look professional."
Yet they allow me to do this.
Yeah, but they like arm sleeves of tattoos. But I'm running around delivering people's food. Barely anybody ever sees me, except for the people I get the food from, and after that, I'm ghost.
Right.
Like, some people saw my blue beard and laughed, and I didn't pay no mind, but...
So yeah, my response to that is I'm going to get some Manic Panic Black.
But, in Japan, believe this or not, like, there is Japanese people out there with brown hair, naturally. Brown hair. They have to dye it black. Because a company doesn't believe that their hair is naturally brown or doesn't match their company's aesthetics and professionalism. So a lot of them have to dye their hair black in order to fit in.
Wow. I did not know that.
That's just another one of those weird things about quirks. Like, they don't allow colors, so no blondes, no greens, even though anime characters have, like, all the rainbows. But if you're a natural Japanese person of natural ascent, but yet you were born with brown hair, you have to dye it black.
Well, that's crazy.
And some schools require that too. So, good thing we're in America. At least we're allowed to have different colors of natural, I don't know, blonde, red, and black. What the natural color is there?
Well.
There's all the in-betweens, I know, but.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't, if I had to, like, if my job contacted me going, yeah, we heard that you were driving around with a blue beard. Can you, not? I'm like, I cannot say no to you, but I can quit. Cause, I like my blue beard. That doesn't bother me, and it doesn't make them look any worse. And just, all I'm doing is delivering people's food. That's it. And I don't understand.
I think if I ever DoorDashed, I'd do mine red,
Yeah, but like for you, it's like you're just fixing a person's computer. You're fixing the device. Where does the beard help you or stop you from doing that job?
Well, the problem is part of my job, besides fixing people's computers, is I interact with a lot of the corporate head honchos when they come over and do board meetings and stuff like that, and I make sure their devices are connected, and I deal with vendors, and I might have to escort people off the premises every now and then.
Get your arms off me, you red beard bastard!
So there's that, and I think the other thing is they're scared that somebody's going to use some kind of dyeing agent that's flammable. And that's not a good thing if you have to go on the shop floor at a welding fabrication company, work on a computer out there, and a spark hit it.
I haven't tried that yet, so I'm not gonna go get a match and see if this beard lights up like a candlestick.
No, I don't think the Manic Panic's flammable.
It's pet friendly though, but I'm not putting it on a pet because I'm not gonna be that cruelty free the jerk that goes try it on test it on animals. I just. Then again, if it's safe for humans, I'd imagine it'd be safe for animals, but I don't quite know that. I had another subject matter. We normally, like, when I hear something funny or interesting, I normally write it on my wife's whiteboard. So give me a second here. Something I can remember it, but, that's one of them. Okay, so, interesting things going on right now. Two things. There's a petition out right now to make Twitter where you have to have ID in order to make an account on Twitter. An ID.
Right.
Why? Because people are bullying and being rude, and they want to sue them and know their name so they can have lawsuits to get them because they're being mean or insensitive or saying something that is not PC enough or PG. Like apparently, okay, the person that was starting this is a model. Okay, she's a model, so she's fine, and by most people's standards. And she has a son. Apparently, she's why she started this. She has a son that's a little off kilter. Best way to put it. And apparently, someone made a joke or jab at him, and she wants to know who they are. She wants to know who they are. They want to know their names. She wants to be able to take actions for their bullying or for their picking, making jokes at his expense, which I'm not saying is a good thing. I'm just saying, like, you want to jump on people that are using the anonymity so they can say what they want to without worrying about of the repercussions, which I get that. But ID requirements pretty much take away someone's freedom. Because, like, then you can't say nothing because either you say, somebody get offended about it, even if it's a joke or, you know, you're making light at it, somebody could take actions towards you. It's like, I can't even say what I want to say. How do you feel about that?
I think it's bull.
Like,
I mean, I don't think anybody should be bullied by no means. I think whoever did that is a piece of crap, but I don't think forcing people to give their identity out, that's also an infringement on someone's rights. So you're basically trying to correct a wrong with a wrong. And I don't know about you, but I heard this all my life. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, you can't take 2 L's as making a W out of it. But I don't personally feel that's very like that's a rolling stone, right? Like that's just one step down a hill before it just starts crumbling.
Yep.
And I get what she's doing because like it's her son, and she believes that, you know, anybody gets this kind of stuff is wrongdoing. That's great, fine, that's wonderful. Fight. You know, defend it's your child, but also like defend somebody that's not quite all there. But at the same time, don't you know, take someone's freedom for, you know, for saying something. I don't go and immediately wish death upon someone when they say something mean about me. I've heard it my entire life. I've always said I've been bullied since I was in preschool. I'm still getting bullied to this very day by some people, but I don't go off and want their death or want them, you know, in prison because of it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems we have as humanity as a whole is we have a tendency to not react to a situation with equal force, but to overreact with more than equal force.
A greater force.
Right, and you know, the way it's supposed to work is you react in kind, and meaning equally.
Yeah, so if you throw a pebble at me, I'll throw a pebble at you. But you throw a pebble at me, I'll throw a boulder.
Yeah,
it's like
that's not fair at all.
I went way beyond it because I wanted to show that I have the bigger Johnson, because it's just simply not true. But that to me is just a social thing. I know a lot of things are a problem nowadays. It's just a social problems, and a lot of people are wondering if we're taking a step too far nowadays. We're jumping too far rather than
we are
taking a little bit at a time. And but I do say there's something that's really cool is happening with nowadays. I like this. Okay, so as you may know, my wife is a bit of a animal nut job. She loves animals. She loves creatures and all that stuff like that. But one of the cruel things of the world, even though we eat so much beef, whatever's remained on the animal is normally used for other things. Well, somebody in Mexico, 2 brothers, have now made a cloth-like material that feels and has the same properties as leather and has started making clothes out of it, out of cactus.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like you like I don't know if you pulled up yourself, but I'm pulled up my side. These two brothers, these guys right here, have started making cactus leather, and I think it's really cool. I like that we're more people are learning. Like stuff like this is good news. We never hear this on the news or anything like that. Like this right here is what I want to hear more stuff about. People doing some good shit in the world. And they're making leather out of cactus, like a renewable, reuse or not reusable because you can grow it faster than you can grow a cow. But I think that's cool, and also like there's a fungus, a coffin that if you ever die that you can be put inside of, and when it's buried, the fungus will take care of your body while you're buried and dead. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there's like a fungus packing material now too as well, which where they take the shape of the object and they put the fungus and then get some mold of the object, and it will make a package system that's kind of like spongy like styrofoam, which I thought was kind of pretty cool. Like I said, I've been really curious about this more natural things because I try to do as best I can. Of course, I'm out here 3D printing plastic things. I'm going, yay, recycling, and then I'm printing plastic figurines. It's like I'm doing harm than doing good.
I don't know. It just depends. I mean, use the materials that are given to you, what you have available. I mean, me and you both know that if somebody had a completely recyclable type of material that we could, print in, that we would do it.
Yeah, like as long as it doesn't just dissolve just by sitting on my shelf.
Yeah.
Like
which, by the way, you got those lights behind you. If you turn them to purple, that's technically ultraviolet light.
I thought that would be the case, but it didn't quite cure.
So then your lights might not be at the right intensity, because literally that curing box I have uses a LED strip.
Okay. Because I tried it for a while to try to get it to actually cure with some of my things, and I'm like, it's just not curing. So I just started using this and just kept it on that and just hold it for a while. And they're like, okay, someone cures. I'm like, and I just looked up UV LED strips, and then bam. But yeah, I tried like I'm gonna say that color just went past. I tried to put it on the shelf, and I would just let it sit there for a while, kept it on that color because I would have a controller that could let me control it myself on my phone, and I would just let it stay on the shelf for a while, and it just never quite cured to the extent that I would like it to be. See, I can right there, like that's.
So I'm fixing to set me up a booth, basically a water wash rinse booth.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a 5-gallon bucket that I got, and I'm going to put like a little strainer that sits about 6 inches down into the bucket.
Yeah.
And there, so that you can just sit your prints in there and wash them off, and the water collects in the bottom of the bucket. And then all you got to do is sit the bucket outside and let the sun cure anything that ran off in the water. Skim it out, and then the water's safe to be dumped.
Well, I would say if the figurine's pretty safe, and you can take a little bit of a bouncing around, you can always get 2 buckets, drill one bucket with a bunch of holes in it, put it inside the other bucket with the water, and like do like a old school washing of clothes, and just dunk it over and over and over again.
Right.
Cause that's what I do with this thing right here. I just fill it up with water, and it has a little dunky thing. And then if I really want to get it going, I just close it up and shake the shit out of it, and then open it up and pull it out.
Yep.
Let it dry. But that's for smaller stuff. I can't put too big of things in there because, well, it's not that big. As big as I could possibly find, at least in my predicament. I'm actually unplugging and replugging my stuff in over here. God dang it. Have you still not got to play with the Windows 11 yet?
No, I hadn't played with 11 yet. It's coming though. They're already talking about it at work.
Yeah, I want to hear about it because I know right now it's like in alpha or beta or whatever, and you have to either sign up for it to get access for it, and certain processors won't have access to it unless you do. Because Tech we did a video on it. Like even if you don't have all the requirements, you can still get it if you do these little tricks here and there, which I'm sure mine is. I have a freaking almost brand new Ryzen processor in my computer. It should definitely be able to handle it, but I'm just afraid to touch it until it's fully released. And I want to hear if there's anything is it actually going to be worth updating after Windows 10 promises no more updates?
Yeah, that we're all a little upset about that. I mean, they promised that Windows 10 was the last iteration of Windows, that there was only going to be updates from now on directly to that OS. And here they go writing another OS. I mean, come on, guys.
Well, pretty much Windows 10 though was a big old cash grab. Like a lot of the stuff on Windows 10 was just to gather information from the users so they could turn around and sell it. Like a lot of people found out that early on in Windows 10 that there was a lot of information gathering on what you looked at and what you did and the things you downloaded, so they can then they saw it how it was going to be sold off and be used, and
right.
And people found a way to turn that off, which I did too. Because I don't want my stuff. It's my computer. If I want to do something on it, it's me. It's all me, not you. So I don't know if Windows 11 is to be the same thing. Because then we're all going to figure out the same all over again how to go and block that. Wait.
Right.
Is Windows 11 going to be another try to attempt at a cash grab?
I hope not.
Because
I hope that is not the case.
I bought my Windows 10. When I got it, I bought it. I didn't go from Windows 7 or 8 to 10 for free. No, I bought Windows 10 and put it on my computer and my wife. So I'm already paying them the upfront price. That's it's kind of buying a copy of a video game. I buy the game, it's mine. Don't touch it. It's mine to do whatever as I wish. And I'd say to feel the same thing with Windows 10. But now that Windows 11 is be given to you for free, they're gonna be like, well, since you gave it to you for free, let's gather information off of you for free. It's like, no. I still bought Windows 10. You're giving me Windows 11. That's on you. Bye.
Right. I agree.
I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm hoping it's some good. Maybe it won't maybe it will be less strain on lower grade CPUs or GPUs. Maybe it'll help transfer information faster.
I'm hoping that it's going to have a better information handling protocol for it. I mean, I don't know. I ain't been real happy with any OS as of late, to be honest.
I know a lot of people saying online it kind of has a feel like Mac, and I personally don't care. I don't know. You probably know what rooting is, right?
Yep. I
would like if Microsoft did rooting like Mac does. So if I want to root a game or something like that, it just roots it for me instead of having to get a program to root it and then go from there.
Right.
I found out about that trick a long time ago, thanks to my oldest brother. And I never liked that about Microsoft. Little nerd talk there.
Yeah, I mean, basically back in the olden days, Microsoft did allow rooting if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Now they've moved away from that, and there's pros and cons to it. I mean, some of your installs won't be as easily and as cleanly done with the ability to root.
Yeah.
But at the same time, rooting gives you abilities that you don't have, So it's the level of effort you're willing to put into something, really.
I never really minded it, of course, at all, but I didn't very much use it that much as a lot of other people with emulators and stuff like that. I don't very much like emulators. I like actually having the consoles and stuff like that, or certain games. I've always liked. That's the only way I've ever used rooting is for video games. I know there's other uses for it, but that's my primary use for it. What are you staring at?
I'm just looking at something over here.
But I said you can share. You look at I'll probably be like, for those who did not know, I got my grumpet done, and now I gotta buy me some flexible resin for it. So whenever that model is done by Corvo and Stealthy, they're gonna help me out a little bit here, hopefully. I'll be printing that off. So anybody wants to get one of the copies from those from me, you're more than welcome to talk to me about it. But how long have we been going for? We're going.
Yeah, we've been going. Yeah, we're about 10 minutes past the hour mark.
Yep, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for all for coming tonight. I do really appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button, share. And if you want to keep up in contact with either of us of what's going on, be sure to have one of the multiple links below our images here, Twitter's, our Twitches, and so on, if you want to catch up with anything else that's going on. I've entered a contest for a PC. I don't know if you got that on your Twitter page there, Corvo, but I also sent it to Stealthy as well. So if you want to join in one of the multiple contests I'm always entering on Twitter, be sure to follow me on Twitter because I find them all the time.
I feel like getting suspended again, okay?
She said she don't want to get suspended again because she's the exception to every rule.
Yeah, she tends to run into bad luck, but so have I this year. But I'm just hoping maybe one good thing will come out this year, and hopefully maybe my IKEA shelves will get here sometime. That would be nice.
Yep.
But anyways, we're gonna be going live probably 20 to 30 minutes, maybe close to an hour from now. Corvo, me and Stealthy, we play some more Kitchen Impact after he's done with his mother and food. So if you want to catch us live there, be sure to come to our channels. I don't know if Stealthy's gonna go live or Corvo's gonna go live, but I'm gonna go live with them and we're gonna play some games. So if you're gonna catch that again one more time at twitch.tv/GrumpyBear, catch us live in about 40 to an hour if rough.
Yep.
So as always, you have a good day, have a good night, and have a good life.
Have a good life. Bye, guys.
Bye.